Welcome back, everybody, to the sixth episode of the Gaia podcast. As always, this episode is sponsored by me and my merch store, so go check out redbubble.com/people/Mother Gaia. There's going to be some new stuff coming out within about a week or so that has to do with a very big collab, so go check that out. Today, we have a very special guest and a good friend of mine. He runs the account called Heroish Thoughts. This is Hero. Introduce yourself.
Hello!
How are you?
Good, pretty good.
I'm really happy that you're here.
Dude, I'm always happy to be here.
So you run the account Heroish Thoughts.
Yes.
Where did that idea come from? Like, what inspired you to become the hero?
Okay, so I was sitting in uni, and I was just daydreaming. I was bored out of my mind, and then the thought came to my mind, man, Elastigirl's pretty thick. And I was just like, I wonder if other superheroes think this way. And so I'm just like, man, it would be pretty fun if you create a persona that would think like a superhero.
That's awesome. So Hero was born. He was created out of the idea that Elastigirl, otherwise known as Helen Parr,
I don't use her name.
Thick AF.
Oh yeah, she is. Do you spread those? She goes for miles.
Oh my! I mean, she could be as thick as she wants, right? That's her power.
Yeah, pretty expansive.
So what's your goal with it? Like I don't know how many followers do you have now?
So I think I'm at a weird threshold because over the summer I couldn't really like be hero. I couldn't really make many jokes. So like I stopped at around 150 over the summer, and then once uni started again, I got back up to 200, and I've still been at 200. So it's been progressively getting better and better. But like I never really imagined. Or I don't really have a goal other than satirical dark humor that's fucked up and just fun.
I think that works. I think that works with your character.
Hell yeah.
So one thing that I know that we've talked a lot about and gone back and forth with on both of our accounts is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
I have only played one other game before coming to college, which is where I met you. And you you started a campaign, and you became my DM, and my God, those sessions are something else. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're definitely a nightmare for me.
So what got you into D&D?
So, probably in high school, I have this really close nerdy friend group. Like, we play League of Legends a lot. We play a lot of video games and board games. And one day they're just like, "Hey, join us in D&D." And I'm just like, "Okay, sure." So I'm just like, "All right, I'll see what it's like. Like, I'm gonna be a theater major. It'll be fun." So I start playing it. I'm like, "Man, this is really fun because I get all these voices. I get to make up all these characters. I used to want to be a writer, so I get to make all of these like creative." Just backgrounds, and I'm just like, yeah, I could totally do this. And so once we came, and I'm like, all right, I want to start being a DM. I just sat down maybe for 3 hours and just wrote out this story.
That's awesome. So you've been playing for a while.
I want to say about 2.5, 3 years now.
Okay, so about the same as me. I mean, not consistently. I only played one Star Wars campaign before college last year, but you know, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and so I wanted to get back into it. And so that's actually how we became friends. I don't know if you really knew that, but we had that one class, and we were in the library, and I overheard you say something about D&D, and I was just like, this is my chance. Yeah. So I just kind of like slid in. And I was like, hey,
hell yeah,
you guys talking about D&D? And that's kind of like what sparked our friendship.
Hell yeah.
So do you have a favorite like race and class that you like to play as?
So I'm kind of a basic bitch. I love playing humans, mostly just for the extra class features and everything.
Okay.
But I think my favorite character that I've ever made and played, his name is Clyde the Corrupted. And he's different from what I wrote in our story because in what I wrote as a character, he's a halfling dwarf reptile.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's a rogue.
Oh. Wow. I can understand why he's the Corrupted.
Yeah.
So he's not exactly like the little sin mongerer that that he appears to be in our current campaign.
No, God no, he's completely different. In that campaign, he was just an evil assassin who just killed whoever for however much. But I'm like, he's pretty greedy. Let me make him the sin of greed.
That's awesome. I like that. Are we going to be interacting with the other sins throughout this campaign?
I can't say yes, but I can say yes.
Okay. All right, that's fair. So, would you? You saw before we started recording that I was listening to a podcast called Crit Sandwich, and it's a podcast of these 4 guys just playing D&D, and they actually have a really cool thing that they do. I don't know. I had a chart pulled up. Actually, this might be it. No, that's not it. They had this chart where it was like what the characters are like based around, what world they're in, what their storyline is, and what the like big bad of the story is. And they have a set thing. They're like, this is going to be between 2 and 10 sessions, which is kind of a big difference.
That's a range.
But it's they're like it's not going to go past 10 sessions. It's just going to be this story, and then these characters going to go in the folder.
Okay.
And what they did was they had 20 different options in each thing.
20, that's a lot of options.
And then they rolled a d20.
Oh my god, that's so brilliant.
Isn't that so cool? They ended up with like a couple different ones. They rolled like 10 different options. Like 10 different scenarios, and eventually they landed on a utopian steampunk world that takes place in like a regular like fantasy D&D thing, but it's like there's no more monsters, but the premise of it that they rolled was Jurassic Park, so all of the monsters had been brought back to life and they're sequestered in one area, and the issue is they're out of containment now, and it's these, and they're the character background thing that they had to go with is the background that they had to go with was priests. So they're 4 priests that go on like a church trip to this monster park.
They're going on a Catholic mission.
Exactly, and they end up going to this zoo trip with like the youth group, and all the monsters get let out, and it's their job to take them down. And the one like world issue is that it's a like they're like plane hopping, so they're going through different realities. And the end like big bad is there's going to be 2 monsters reminiscent of Godzilla and King Kong fighting.
Oh, that's so cool!
Isn't that cool? So I was like,
so cool.
I was listening to this and I was like, I really want to. I got to start DMing because I have so many ideas that I could bounce.
That's
one of the alternate ones is like a Candyland type thing, like literally just like all of like. They get thrown into this world and they're like all rogues, and so they're all like covered in leather and everything is like cotton candy trees,
candy and licorice,
and literally like Candy Island from Flapjack.
That's so sick. I know when I write my campaign, I say you're in like episodes, and every episode has 5 parts. In the 3rd episode is a little sneak peek for when we play next.
All right.
You guys are gonna be sort of like plane hopping to different other worlds, and in one certain world, a certain persona, a hero, is gonna be in the world, and there may or may not be an opportunity to fight him.
That's incredible. Oh, and that actually brings me to my next question. Would you ever be interested in recording our sessions and posting them?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
It's It's something I wanted to start from the very beginning, but
didn't have the means to.
We didn't have the means to. We didn't have the space to. None of us had the time to. And now we're so far into this elaborate, messed up, sticky story that if anyone jumps in right now, it's either going to be I have to make a completely new story just for them and then tie that into the main story, or everyone just kind of pick up as they go and just go along and just pick up key information.
So I've been thinking about starting my own campaign using that set of rules and recording it and starting, but we're already in 2 different campaigns, which would make it very difficult. But what these guys do is they do every 2 weeks, and then they just have like a solid like hour and a half session, and then they can move on. And so I think that would be easy because you could, and we don't have to do like 10 sessions, but I think that like a 5-session campaign would be good to start off with.
They're like a bunch of one-shots.
Yeah.
Where you just play it and you're done and then that's it.
Yeah, I think that would be a cool little series that we could put together.
I love it.
Cool. So, to take a jump from the D&D talk, something else pretty wild that happened this week was the 4th Democratic debate. Did you watch it?
No.
No?
Not at all.
Are you involved in politics whatsoever?
I try to stay away from all that.
Okay, that's fair.
Only because I don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah. There has been some interesting discussions that came out of it.
Yeah.
One of which was Kamala Harris, which is I think she was like an attorney general in California. She was doing well in the beginning of the the runnings and everything, but she's like gradually losing supporters. And last night or however many nights ago, she seemed pretty bummed out that Elizabeth Warren didn't agree that Twitter should shut down, they should make Twitter shut down Donald Trump's Twitter account. Which, I understand why she would want to do that, but also, that's the only way that we'll be able to check in on him.
If it wasn't for his Twitter, I probably would have no idea that he wanted to say impeach the prez.
So Elizabeth Warren was like, no, we're trying to impeach him. We don't need to worry about his Twitter right now. That's not a priority.
I mean, yeah.
And I get that, but she kept saying, Harris kept saying it over and over again. She was like,
shut down his Twitter.
She was like, do you agree with me? And Warren was just like, no. And she just kept shutting her down, and it was hilarious. And she was like, she kept looking at her, and she was like, really? You don't agree with me? And she was like, no. That's not what we need to worry about right now.
It's really not.
And
I applaud her ambition for it.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But they did talk a lot about job loss and automation and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did you know that over the last year, Amazon and UPS and everything, shipping companies, have shut down about 400,000 driving, truck driver jobs?
I think I learned that from a South Park episode.
Do you know why they're able to do that?
No.
Because now they have self-driving semi-trucks.
That's so scary.
Is that?
And Skynet's gonna happen.
They say they're they were talking about it, and they were Elizabeth Warren was like, that's not the main problem, and then Andrew Yang was like, I have the data, and she was like, I want to see the data, and he was like, I'll show it to you. And so there, I was looking into the data about that a little bit, and those self-driving trucks that they're shutting down 400,000 jobs across the United States.
Don't they cause so many accidents?
They're only successful 98% of the time.
That's not 100%.
And if you think about 400,000 self-driving trucks and 98% of that, that's still about 40,000 accidents caused by trucks that no one's inside.
Like, and then, like, okay, like, let's say you get into an accident with, like, a self-driving car. Like, what's the insurance on that? Like, you can't get out of the car and be like, give me your insurance.
Yeah.
Like, who are you gonna talk to?
It might just keep going.
Oh my
Can you imagine getting, like, a hit and run by a semi-truck that has no one inside?
We got a hit and run truck coming in. Who's the driver? No one.
No one. It's just going. But yeah, I don't know. I think that that's a little scary to me.
I'm imagining like SWAT with full armored cars in front of a self-driving UPS truck, and they have to put out spike strips in order to pop the tires to stop the car.
There's a movie based on it's not like self-driving kind of, but it's like a ghost truck.
It's the Stephen King movie?
Yeah. And
isn't it like is it like Christine?
Christine's the like possessed Plymouth, which is similar. I think Steven Spielberg actually worked on it, but it's basically there's a ghost truck that's just driving people off the road.
It's so stupid.
And
it's a stupid concept.
It's a stupid concept, but because of that movie, he was able to like get his head in the door.
Hello.
His foot in the door for like a bunch of other things like Jaws.
Yeah.
So I
mean, hey, like, listen, my first audition was on a black casting couch. So, I mean, whatever gets me into social media.
Oh God. Did you hear about the whale bones that were discovered at the bottom of the ocean?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Oh man. So basically, there was this big submarine that was like going down to the bottom of the ocean. They were just exploring and whatever. And it was off the central coast of California, and it was run by the EV Nautilus, which is like the ship company, and then also the NOAA's Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And so they were just like looking around, seeing what kind of animals they can find at the bottom of the ocean. And there was a massive whale, but it was dead, and it was just the bones. And there was like animals like crawling all over it. And upon further examination, they discovered that there were Osedax worms that were inside the bones that were eating the bones away. And there was like octopi and other fish. I wonder if I can find it, because I know that it was still trending. Bones. Whale. I'll just look it up. Whale bone. Whale. There it is.
Whoa!
Isn't that creepy? There's like octopi and fish crawling all over, just like literally just eating everything and dissolving the bones. They don't know what type of whale it is yet. I think they called it... Nope, wrong one. They called it the baleen whale, which is an order. So it's like kingdom, phylus, order, like the way that you get down to species.
Sure.
It's an order. So it's like there's like 2 sections above it. An order also includes like porpoises and dolphins. So they have no idea what kind of whale it is, but they know that it is just getting munched on by all these animals at the bottom of the ocean.
That's gnarly.
And it was like a total accident that they found it. They were like live streaming it, and everyone was like,
they're just like, oh,
they were like, bones. Go over there, check that out. Like the chat was like, go, there's like a thing over there, go check it out. And they went over, and they found this, and isn't like, if you look really close, you can see all the worms like crawling on it.
That's disgusting.
I'll put a link to that in the description, so go check it out. It's really creepy. Next, I have a section that is called "What Did He Do?" It is where I discuss the sometimes highs and most usually lows of the Tangerine living in the White House. I know that you said that
I thought you were talking about the annoying orange.
Yes, it's 100% the annoying orange, which oddly enough works. I know you said that you stay away from politics, so we don't have to talk about that if you don't want to.
I mean, sure.
All right. So last night there was a picture that Donald Trump tweeted out saying it with the caption "Nervous Nancy has an unhinged meltdown," and it was a picture of Nancy Pelosi standing up in a room of men sitting down at a table, and she's directly across from Donald Trump pointing at him, and he says that was her having a meltdown, and her response to that was she took the picture and made it her Twitter header. And
yo, props to you, Nancy.
Right? Oh. Isn't that awesome? So if you go Nancy Pelosi
at Speaker Pelosi on Twitter.
At Speaker Pelosi, that's the picture.
Yo, he looks so upset.
He's so confused, and she's like throwing it at him. And there was a White House aide that was in this room that released to the press that what she was saying in this picture was all roads that come from you lead to Putin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this was like part of the impeachment inquiry, and that was like, that's big. Like he thought that he had something there, and everyone was just like, "Ooh, she snapped back."
Yeah, you can't even deny that. He's like, Putin is like up his ass, and he's up Putin's. Like it's like a yin and yang of just dick inside ass. Like they're just inside each other.
You know what? I agree with that. I'm not going to contest that whatsoever. He also congratulated the president of Turkey, calling him someone just died out there.
It's my time. I need to go.
Hero to the rescue.
I mean, if that's what you want to call it.
He's just gonna go like
beat
rob
the
the
shit
body.
Out of him.
He called him a great president because the Turkey was apparently convinced by the United States that they need to stop slaughtering the Kurds.
Oh.
Yeah, and so he was like, it's great. I'm a great friend with him. You know, we're good friends. He's a great president. Congratulations to him for not killing the Kurds anymore. And, you know, that's not something that you should have to congratulate someone on.
No, it's like...
And
I mean, sure, he did it. Like, that's...
It's good that he stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. It's an official ceasefire.
Good.
So basically they're giving the Kurds 48 hours to get out of Syria.
Oh, that's 2 days.
Which is stupid because they already let out all the ISIS prisoners.
Yeah.
And there have been multiple attacks on different cities. And so the Kurds are probably going to have to go back to Iraq, which is not going to be good.
Dude, that just curds my stomach.
I had a feeling that you were going to come up with a pun for them.
I was trying to think of curd milk, but I'm like, no. That's not going to work.
Well, I'm happy that they are... that they're gonna be safer? ?
Questionable. Less bloodshed.
Senator Mitch McConnell, have you ever seen him?
No.
He looks like a turtle. He looks like a snapping turtle.
Like, what?
Wait until you see him and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Doesn't he look like a snapping turtle?
Yes. I imagine this is how he talks.
Yeah, probably.
His lip is over his teeth, so he has probably a thick lip.
You know what? I never noticed that, but you can only see his bottom teeth.
It's not normal. Talking like that is not normal.
Oh, he also doesn't have any eyebrows.
Probably shaved them off.
Probably. Oh, he's creepy.
I shaved off my eyebrows once.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I was in middle school, and I was like, man, I need to learn how to shave. So instead of shaving my mustache that I didn't have, I went to the middle part of my eyebrows and just shaved what I thought was a unibrow, but it just was my eyebrow.
I was in elementary school, and there was this kid. He was really weird. I hope that he doesn't listen to this, but he came to school one day, and he already had a pretty round-shaped head, and his head was like shaved like normally.
Yeah.
But he shaved off his eyebrows.
Oh, no.
And didn't. I was like, dude, why'd you do that? And he was like, I was mad at my parents. And I was like, so you shaved your eyebrows? Why would you not shave their eyebrows?
Yes, the ultimate act of defiance, shaving.
Man, he was something else. I don't know why I keep clicking that one.
It just looks like a bunch of Ernie puppets.
Yeah. But Mitch McConnell, who is the majority leader, outlined that the next few months of impeachment at the Senate Republicans' weekly lunch. He said that the House Democrats wanted to move expeditiously, possibly approving articles of impeachment by Thanksgiving.
Big word.
Chief Justice John Roberts would preside over the Senate trial, which McConnell hoped would be completed by Christmas. Which, McConnell is a Republican, but after what happened with Syria, he was like, I can't do it with Trump anymore. I'm going to support the impeachment hearing. So that's a lot of senators and Congress people have been like
finally swooned over to impeach him.
Yeah, and so I think it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah,
McConnell thinks it's going to happen by Christmas, but most of the House Democrats want it to happen by Thanksgiving.
I'd love Thanksgiving. It's just a couple years too late.
It is, yeah. We, actually, as the day of recording this, we are currently in the 1000th day of his presidency.
Oh, is that a celebration or is that I'm gonna go home and take shots?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. You could say we've made it through 1,000 days so far, or you could say we still have 460 days left, which is a lot, but it's a lot less than 1,000. We're about 2/3 of the way through right now.
Dude, I just can't wait until Kanye runs for prez. Like,
do you think that's gonna happen?
Kanye 2020 is still full supporter.
He hasn't even said anything about
That's
it.
what he wants.
True.
He wants to come out take it from him.
If he gets impeached, then if he gets impeached and removed from office, then he can't run for president again.
Yeah,
so they would need to have a Democratic or a Republican candidate. So someone would have to jump up there. Currently, there's a guy running for president as Republican who was previously he ran in 2016 as a Libertarian.
Okay.
So we'll see how he turns out. Honestly, just anyone but Trump.
Take these nuts over
Trump. And I wanted to talk about a certain hero.
Myself. Thank you. Thank you.
A vastly inferior hero to yourself, known as the Batman.
Wait a sec. Wait a second. No one says the Batman unless you're talking about the movie.
Yep, did you hear about any cast updates?
The Riddler was released as it's
Paul Dano.
Paul Dano. I was gonna say Dan Paulo.
Dan Paulo, yes,
okay.
my favorite Jersey Shore member.
Who else?
We have Jonah Hill is no longer
in the runs for the Penguin.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they couldn't come to a salary agreement.
No.
I know, isn't that so sad?
He'd be such a good Penguin.
He would be so cool as the Penguin. Zoe Kravitz is Catwoman, which I love because
I think that's perfect casting. I love that so much. I love her so much too.
I love Lenny Kravitz. I think that he's awesome and that he's just a badass.
Yeah.
And his daughter is even cooler. Did you know that Zoe Kravitz's stepfather is Aquaman?
What?
Jason Momoa is married to Zoe Kravitz's mom.
What?
Yeah. He's only 10 years older than her.
Oh,
yeah.
do not like that. Do not like that. I don't like.
I mean,
like,
they're both like old, like not old, but like
yeah.
I think he's like 36 or something.
Yeah, but that means like his daughter's 26.
Yeah.
Or stepdaughter.
Yeah. Isn't that funky?
That's so.
It's
dislike.
Weird. But it's good on DC for bringing in the family.
Yeah.
They're
And the Bat family extends.
And then obviously our frontman Robert Pattinson as Batman, Bruce Wayne.
Sparkly Batman.
Yo, what do you think about that?
All right, so I gotta say, yeah, Twilight is. I gotta apologize to my girlfriend because she loves the Twilight movies, but I fucking hate them. Yeah, I dislike the Twilight movies. And I remember hearing in interviews Robert Pattinson after the first movie hated playing Edward Cullen. He viciously started to hate the series because all he was recognized for is playing this monotone, emotionless character. But now, like, fast forward to the Lighthouse movie, it was with first Green Goblin. What was his name?
Willem Dafoe?
Well, yeah, it's William Dafoe and Robert Pattinson playing these two fishermen in a lighthouse. And if you haven't seen the movie, please, I'd say go watch it. It looks like a masterpiece. I'm a huge movie buff. I love it.
Cool.
And, like, seeing his broad range from playing this weak little snivelly... But no, he wasn't so weak. I just saw him like that because he's in Twilight. But, like, this, like, proud wizard boy to being this vampire, now being this fisherman. I'm like, he has such a wide range. Yeah. So, like, I'm casting all of his, like, Twilight movies aside. I'm personally quite excited to see him as Bruce Wayne. I think it's going to be really interesting seeing the direction they take it, the time period, when exactly the Batman is.
I'm interested to see, like, I personally liked Batfleck, and I get a lot of hate for that because he was
too dark and too brooding.
He was a very far departure from Christian Bale's Batman, even just like design and everything, but like the movies that he was shown in weren't fantastic.
No, God, no. Batman vs Superman.
Batman vs Superman, Justice League. Even when he was in Suicide Squad for a little bit, it was
for that split second.
For that split second with Deadshot, it was very lackluster.
Yeah.
And they all had opportunities to be fantastic movies. Mm-hmm. And the casts were awesome.
They had the cast.
They had everything that they needed. It was just they were kind of boring. But now we have James Gunn doing the new Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
That concerns me.
Yeah.
I can't say I love Suicide Squad. I love Margot Robbie, and I love James Gunn. However, if it's a reboot, they're saying that it's a reboot of Suicide Squad by saying it's the Suicide Squad, you're having a continuity error with Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
If you're keeping Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, as they say they are, then you can't have her be in one Suicide Squad and be in the other and then not acknowledge each other whatsoever. Yeah. Because then you're going to have a completely new Harley Quinn, but that's obviously debunked because it's Harley Quinn's new movies coming out. Birds of Prey and the Fabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Is that one related to the first Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's in the DCEU.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I would really enjoy it if DC would just make one continuous universe. Because Jason Momoa as Aquaman is fantastic.
God,
Gal Gadot as
Wonder Woman
is incredible.
I'm sure the Urza Miller movie, The Flash, coming out in 2022 is going to be amazing.
And I even liked Henry Cavill as Superman. Yeah. It was awesome. And like the new characters that they have, like Killer Croc and Enchantress,
Diablo.
I really like Cara Delevingne as Enchantress. I thought she was interesting. Her being normal was kind of boring. Yeah. But Enchantress looked really cool.
The movement, like as an actor, seeing her move the way she did, the fluidity in that, that I loved. That was so interesting to like study.
Yeah, it was awesome. But now, like, it's the Suicide Squad. the Batman, and the Joker, or is it? It's just Joker.
It's when the Flash comes out. It's the Flash.
The Flash. Okay. I wish they would just make one big universe, because Marvel does it so well.
Yeah.
And I hate to draw comparisons to the two, but
I mean, yeah,
they've always been competitors.
Marvel did such a good job with. They made Iron Man with the opportunity of, we could say this is a standalone solo universe movie, and then if that succeeded, then they're like, oh, we can just add on to the other ones, which is great. DC did not do that. They had Man of Steel, and then they're like, they assumed that all the other characters were already established, when what they needed to do was establish it as their own individuals and then bring it together through like little, like, it's like in the first Iron Man, it could be Iron Man 1 or 2, but when Nick Fury takes Tony Stark into this warehouse and he has like 2 dots on the board. One of the dots is all the way in the Atlantic, which is supposed to be Atlantis, where Namor is, and the other one was in Africa. It's Wakanda, and they referenced Wakanda way before Black Panther. This is like a full like decade before.
It's because they were always hoping, like, you know, in
they just set themselves up so well.
Yeah, you know, in I think it was Iron Man 2 when there was like a little kid. Why do you have that?
Have what?
You're holding a rock that says "You're the goat."
Yeah, I found it.
All right, cool, interesting. Anyway,
continue.
In Iron Man 2, when they were at the convention, it was like the Stark convention or something.
Yeah.
And there was a little kid that like walked up to one of the
Peter Parker.
So yeah, it was Peter Parker.
It was fan theorized because they're just like, oh, if you like add the timeline together and like you fast forward, like that could be Peter Parker. It makes sense. And it's like everyone's like, oh, that's a cool theory. That's such a cool theory. And the Marvel was just like, no, straight up it's Peter Parker.
Yeah,
you're right.
Peter Parker.
And
that's
like,
just how it be, dog.
Okay. It just be like that sometimes.
I know that you said that you had to get out of here by 6. Do you have time to talk about history for a little bit?
Just
a couple more minutes. Yeah. All right. So this is the final section. This is called This Week in History.
Ooh,
I like to go back in time using a website where I could just like check out things that have happened in the past.
Google.
Yeah. And there's a couple really interesting things. Let's go back about 450 years and look at 1582, when the Gregorian calendar is adopted in Italy, France, Spain, and Portugal. And it actually ended previously it was the Julian calendar because of Julius Caesar, and it ended on October 4th. But when the Gregorian calendar started, it was on October 15th. So there were 10 days that never existed in history.
What happened during those 10 days?
Nothing. It
the
literally
world went black.
Yeah, literally. Like, it was like, and obviously, you know, time is a construct, so the calendar doesn't actually even matter.
Of course.
But one day it was October 4th, and then the next day was like Italy saying we're gonna go with the Gregorian calendar. So it went October 3rd, 4th, 15th. So there are literally from October 5th to October 14th in the year 1582 never existed.
To the people born between those days, I'm so sorry. Like, how do you determine your birthday? Oh yeah, I was born in the black space of time.
I exist only in my nightmares. The next thing to occur was in 1912. Former United States President Theodore Roosevelt was shot in the chest during an assassination attempt in Milwaukee.
This is where his thick notepad saved his life.
He had a massive notepad in his breast pocket, and even though the bullet did go through and get into his chest, he insisted on finishing his speech.
Dude, just imagine being so tough that you take a bullet to the chest, you just go, as I was saying, and just continue going.
Like, the doctors were like, we need to take you to the hospital. He was like, I will say what I need to.
Hold my beer.
Literally, that if there was any president that would embody the sentence, hold my beer,
it was Teddy
Roosevelt.
It's Teddy.
Next, in 1947, test pilot Chuck Yeager was the first person to ever go faster than the speed of sound.
Like on his feet?
No. No, he was flying the Bell X-1 rocket plane.
Oh, he was flying.
He was flying.
Of course. That makes more sense.
Yes. But can you imagine that? Like, they weren't even trying to do that.
I thought you were going to say, can you imagine running as fast to break the sound barrier?
Can you imagine being the Flash?
My name is Barry Allen.
My name is Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive until a new season occurs and someone's faster than me.
Or I get slower.
Or I get slower because my daughter shows up.
No, but that's wild. They didn't even try.
They weren't even trying. They were testing out the new rocket plane, and he was like, I think I want to go faster. And they were like, this is not supposed to go that fast. And he was like, nah, I'm going to do it.
Oh, is the needle in the red a bad thing?
And it was like terrifying. It was the first time that literally anything in the world had broken the sound barrier.
I might have thought I was gonna die. Like if I was like, hey, look, a plane, and I just heard a whip, I thought, oh God, God has opened the heavens. I'm being smited down as we
I'm about
speak.
to be smited. It was terrifying for a lot of the scientists that were there because they saw the plane go overhead, and then a couple seconds later, they heard a massive crack, and everyone was like, what just happened? Did it get struck by lightning? And you know, when you're the one breaking the sound barrier, you don't hear it because you're passing it.
Yeah.
It's behind you. And so he had no idea what they were talking about.
He lands, he goes, hey guys, how was that? And they're like, what the fuck, are you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm like, yeah, why?
They showed him the video later and he was like, I didn't even hear that.
He's like, what?
No. And finally, this is absolutely the craziest thing. There was this baby whose name was Baby Faye. And her name wasn't Baby Faye, but she became known as Baby Faye. Faye was her, middle name or whatever.
Okay.
She was 15 days old, and she was born with a defective heart where literally the left side of her heart was not pumping.
Like 2 out of the 4 chambers were just broken.
Yeah, so they had a machine on her that was pumping it.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, well, we've done heart transplants on adults. I think it's time to try it on a baby.
No!
But
they didn't even go, they didn't even test it on like a rat, they just went straight to a baby?
Yeah, but wait, this is the weird part. They did, obviously you can't get a heart donation from another baby. So you need something that is similar in size to a human infant heart, which just so happens to be a baboon. They transplanted a baboon's heart into a 15-day-old baby, and she lived for another month using just the heart pumping.
What happened after the month?
She died. And it's really terrible to laugh at that, but she literally...
Talk about some monkey business. That wouldn't even make sense.
She would have died had they not given her that baboon heart.
Yeah, I mean, listen, science is cool and all this shit, but what the fuck? A baboon?
Dude, this happened in 1984.
A baboon?
A baboon in 1984. This was like the same time that the USSR was still around when
yes, the Red Scare.
The Red Scare was still being scary when they were putting baboon hearts into children.
Man, it's great that they had the baboons back then, because now all of ours are being burned alive. We love the Amazon,
which is still burning. Brazil, I'm talking directly
love
to you.
But get your shit together. Put it out. We're gonna die in what is it now? 16 months?
Yeah, something like that. Whatever.
The Earth's going to cleanse itself.
Somebody said...
Black Plague Part 2.
My friend, you know that death counter app that everyone's downloading?
Yeah.
She said she downloaded it and she got 5 years. And she was like, well, screw this. I'm not going to stay in college anymore. If I'm going to die in 5 years, I'm going to go do whatever I want.
Isn't there a movie being made about that?
That's why Countdown. That's why the app came out. I think it's fun. I like it. I think I have 43 years left, which is that rounds out to 2063, which I'm chill with.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm going to be just left in the unknown.
Yeah.
Listen, when it's the hero's time to come, I'm gonna come and then I'm gonna die.
It's gonna throw you back into those 10 days that are missing to history.
I become the world's first savior. Those 10 days were written because I took over.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end. Do you have anything that you would like to, promote? Your Twitter is
Twitter's at Heroish Thoughts.
Yeah, at Heroish Thoughts.
All that I'm going to say is I'm going to start talking about video games a lot more.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's been really busy for the past month and a half here at uni.
It has. It's been hell.
It's been really hell. But I have about a week and a half left of my hellish life. And so after that, I'm going to continue getting back in more jokes and everything.
Word.
And to those who took place in the poll for The Mother online a couple months ago over the summer, I am very happy to say that she's been introduced in the story, and that instead of just being a PC character played by myself, that someone has actually took over the role of the mother. So
yes,
very happy about that. And just thank you to all who are supporting and following me, and definitely thank you for following our mother planet. Wow,
yes,
we love her.
Thank you. All right, so yes, again, go check out Hero on Twitter. If you would like, go follow me on Twitter. Subscribe below if you want to see Hero on again. Just comment.
And if you don't speak up, I will not save you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Ciao.